You guys, welcome to an all new episode of So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Monday episode. How the heck was everybody's weekend? Was it good? What did you do? Man, it was a pop culture lovers weekend. Yeah, we're going to get into all of it. We have a great guest today. You remember her. She's been on the show tons of times. Her name's Jennifer, at Blocked by Jax on Instagram, and we talk all these pop culture stories and Bravo. Amazing. But we did that early this morning. So I always like to come on beforehand, and you got to talk about all the crazy stuff that happened today because tons of stuff happened today. Yeah, I'm talking Taylor Swift showing up. What's this football I keep hearing about? A sporting event. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We got new Kardashian news. The strike, the Writers Guild strike, is potentially over. We just got news about that 30 minutes ago. I watched a horrible episode of 90 Day Fiancé tonight. I watched so much TV this weekend. We're going to talk all about all of it. But remember, if you want to skip right to the interview right now, listen to this the way that you want to listen to it. You can. There are timestamps. All I ask is that you support our sponsors along the way. But yeah, break this up however you want to. But if you want to stick with me right now, totally cool with that as well. How the heck was your weekend? Was it good? I hope it was good. I've thought about you guys all weekend, and it's very exciting to get to talk to you again. Now, I'm over at Betches now. We had our first official week at Betches last week. Betches is just this amazing company that now I'm a part of. I'm here in New York. I've got so many questions from people. Did you move to New York? I want to clarify. I did not move to New York. I'm just here to start the show, and then I'm going to go back to Arizona and be in Los. I'm going to be traveling a lot, but I'm excited because I get to come back to New York. I'll be coming back to New York, hopefully a bunch of times to check in, and it's just so cool to be part of a team. And I just another shout out to Betches. They just have been the best, and it's so cool. They have like this amazing team of people that work at these really cool offices. I'm hoping to do a video to show you the Betches offices this week because it's like a pop culture lover's dream. It's a dream. If you guys don't know me, let me explain who I am. You're like, how did I listen to this guy? Anyways, my name's Ryan. I've been doing this show for a couple of years, and I love pop culture. I love it. It makes me laugh. It makes me cry. It makes me learn more about myself. It's what I grew up loving. I still love it. It's just so special to me. And I hope I can convey how special that is to you. And I think it is already special for you. That's why you're here, why you're listening. These things should be celebrated. We should never be ashamed for what we love, right? We sometimes should be ashamed about who we love, but not what we love. These shows, these movies, these books, these songs, anything that makes your heart feel something, good or bad, is valid. And I think pop culture is this great exploration of all of that stuff. Now, sometimes most of the time, I look at it through kind of a silly lens. But remember, we talk deep stuff on this as well. I'll get deep with you. But overall, you guys know I'm the bad boy of podcasting. That's right. Bad boy of podcasting. Guess who forgot to pay their Southwest credit card bill this weekend? This guy. Bad boy. Guess who watched about 80 hours of television this weekend? This guy. Guess who made a oath with himself to go to the gym 2 times this weekend and did not exercise at all? This guy. That's called a bad boy. I'm the guy that your mom warned you about. That's right. Ew. Oh my goodness, you guys, I ate so much this weekend. And I gotta say, listen, I've been going through so much that I'm told, and I'm going to use this excuse, that I owe it to myself. This is part of the healing process. This is what happens when tragedy falls. Now, if you are late to the show, or it's that my mom passed away. It's been a month as of Friday. I think about Becky Bailey every day, and I'll share a little bit about my journey as I go through these shows. And like I told you on Friday, we did that Salt Lake recap, which a lot of you guys responded to so well. So thank you. I'll talk about that stuff, and I hope that's okay with you guys, because it helps me. And I don't ever want to not talk about my mom, And so thank you for allowing me to be able to heal kind of with you guys and through you guys. And I know that can sometimes be rough, or it can sometimes be triggering, and I totally get that as well. But hopefully it can make you remember somebody that you loved, or maybe you're going through something and it kind of, maybe you're going through something similar. I don't know. It is interesting though to be a month into this loss. And all of these things that I've cataloged that you guys have told me through the last year, or I'll still open up a DM and I'll read something that'll just blow me away, that'll just floor me emotionally. Over this last year, I've read things in your stories that just really blow me away, and I'll kind of file that away somewhere, and I've been remembering them this last month, and it's just been so interesting to kind of like, oh gosh, man, I'm feeling this way now, or I'm feeling that way now, or I can't move my body. Like, I'll just go kind of through these waves of depression. But I will say, in all of that, you guys, of course, have helped me. Pop culture helps me. Watching Bravo helps me. Watching Taylor Swift show up to a Kansas City Chiefs game and scream like she's watching NSYNC at the VMAs, that helps me. It's just all so silly. But whatever helps us escape how hard that this life can be, I think that's so well worth talking about. I think it's so well worth celebrating, right? If it makes you happy. The only thing that really scares me, though, is just Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's the only thing that you really shouldn't talk about, because it gets really scary and it gets potentially violent. But other than that, everything is pretty joyful when you watch something on TV, or when something makes you laugh. I was watching the episode of Real Housewives of New York tonight, and Uba was just going in on Aaron. And it just, I mean, she meant it. And it was like, really, you could tell she was just really feeling it. She was saying everything with her chest. But at the same time, I was like, this is insane. This is insane. But I mean that in the best way. So all of this, even my silliness, even if it all comes from a place of love, unless, you're Tom Sandoval or whatever. So I just wanted to say that up top, but we're going to get into all of these things that I love to talk about, and we'll see where it takes us. So last week's shows were great. We had that Salt Lake recap. We had Sophie last Monday. We had Jared Freed. We had comments by Celebs Girls. We had an amazing conversation about the Kardashians. I was just so blessed to have such a great first week of shows. I mean, Dylan Hafer from Mention It All podcast and Bravo by Betches. It was just truly the week that I needed. Now, I'm not fully operational up here in my mind yet. I trip a lot in my mind right now. So thank you for bearing with me. It's not the smooth operation that it always is, LOL. But thank you for supporting this show. Thank you for telling your friends about this show. We're building an army, not like a Taylor Swift army, but we're building like a smallish army. And I'm just so excited for what's to come. My mom always said, it really is what you make of it. And this is what I'm like, this is what we make of it. This time, right now, this is our time. And I'm so excited to see where we go from here. And I know if I keep working hard, and if you guys keep listening and new people keep joining us, I mean, the sky's the limit. So I hope this week that for all of you guys, that the sky is the limit. Remember that life will get you down, that there will be moments that you cannot move, but find something that you truly love. Find somebody that you truly love. Find something that you love to watch. Find a song that you can't get out of your head and listen to that. When you feel down, when you feel insecure, when you're operating from a place of fear, which I was just talking to Maritza, I was like, yo, girl, I operate from a place of fear every day, but it's just, what other choice is there but to do what we love? Because there's so much hurt out there sometimes. There's so much scariness. The world, nothing is promised to us. People, unfortunately, leave that you don't want to leave, sometimes we end relationships that we still want to be in, or breakups, makeups, all of this thing, this kind of, it all just goes into one bubble that we call a life. And I'm trying to make this a better one for myself, and hopefully make you guys laugh a little bit. Maybe you think about a show that you didn't think was going to be good, and maybe you watch it because we talk about it on here. So much good can come from all of this. So yeah, that's me on my soapbox. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Bad boy. Okay, let's get into this. Oh, also a couple announcements about the show. Support the sponsors. Like I said, especially when this show is building. I know right now they're probably selling me to advertisers betches, and for all intents and purposes, they don't know who I am. So the more you show up for me right now, I think it's the better overall in the long run that we can show the power behind this show. Sponsors can see that actually people do pay attention to this show, and that helps. The 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're not, check us out on Spotify. You can leave reviews on both. And sharing it with your friends. Like I said, we're also on YouTube. You can watch videos on there of the interviews, the recaps, and then Patreon. We call ourselves the Baddies. Stay bad, Baddies. Over there on Patreon, I did a full Real Housewives of New York recap of last week's episode. That was a lot of fun. Talked a little bit about personal stuff as well. We do a couple episodes a week usually, but now there's like a catalog of like 350 episodes that I've been doing for years over there. So for $5 a month, you get yourself everything. If you want to see the evolution or hear the evolution of me, we're doing a live Patreon this Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can ask me questions. You can make me do like a dance. I don't know, whatever. It's going to be your hour with me. Bring a cocktail and we'll have a party over on Patreon. This is the other thing. So I know you guys liked the mashups at the beginning of the show. I talked about it last week. We can't start with the mashups anymore, right? But I've been making playlists with mashups and things inspired by the show. I'm trying to find the best way to get them to you for free. And I think it's going to be through the Patreon. And you're like, Ryan, you just told us to pay for the Patreon. I think there's an option on Patreon where you can just go over and it's open to anybody. But what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to try to finish this tonight after this, is try to publish a playlist over on patreon.com/so bad it's good. And there'll be some mashups. There'll be some sad music that I'm into. There'll be just like some full songs. And it'll be a playlist for the week of shows, if that makes sense. Because a lot of people really did like starting the show with those mashups, even though a lot of people complained about them, but then you kind of grew to love them, which is kind of like me. I feel like people are like, you know what? I get a lot of this too. I used to listen to you and then I didn't anymore, but now I came back to you and I like you again. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm never leaving. So come and go as you please. But God, I'm happy that you're back, but I'm going to find a way that we can rock out together because mashups, the mixture of two songs, is one of the most powerful pop culture extravaganzas that we have in terms of music. So I want to make sure you guys get those as well. Okay. All of that crap is out of the way. Now, this today, to me, is what I love about pop culture because so much happened. From the moment I got up, we had the announcement that Usher, who loves being in the club, Usher was announced as the halftime Super Bowl performer. And that was kind of a bummer to me. Like, I love Usher. Usher obviously is historical in terms of music. But I was getting fed images of an NSYNC reunion, a Destiny's Child reunion, possibly One Direction. Somebody threw out Miley Cyrus, which I was like, but whatever. There was all of these things at play. And last year we had Rihanna, but I was like, Usher? And so what happened? Supposedly Miley Cyrus's people put out a little bit of a not a press release, but they put out information later in the afternoon saying that Miley was offered it, but she has chosen at this time to not do this because she's not wanting to perform at big events like this right now, which I don't even know if that was true, if it got offered. But Usher, it seems thrilled to be doing this. It's just not as like, I don't know. Like, remember that one year when you had like Dre and Snoop and then 50 Cent, like he was a little chunkier and he like kind of came, like he did like a reverse like sit up like in the music video and he just looked really bulky. And then you had Kendrick Lamar. It was just like Eminem. You had this like wide array of people. To me, that was like super exciting. The anticipation of Rihanna was super exciting. Now Usher's gonna kill it. Like we all, there's like a handful of Usher songs that we all know and love that you're probably all forgetting right now. But yeah, there's a part of me that wanted Beyonce. There's a part of me that wanted Beyonce with Destiny's Child. There's a part of me that, of course, wanted NSYNC. And so, like, it's weird. But at the same time, I don't even like football. The cat's out of the bag. I'm not even a sports guy. You guys know that. Listen, this is how much of a man I am. I turned to the Kansas City Chiefs game just because I saw that Taylor Swift was there. I was like, what's this football all about? This is, wow. These are like modern day gladiators. Can you show that shot of Taylor in the booth again, please? Like, I was watching football so I could see Taylor Swift. Thank God that my dad never pushed me to truly be into sports, or he would be more ashamed than he is already of me, you know? But so we started off with Usher and Kim Kardashian. This is the other thing. Kim Kardashian filmed a commercial because it's the Super Bowl halftime show presented by Apple Music. So Apple has taken over. It used to be like the Pepsi halftime show, but Apple has paid for exclusive rights. And so Kim Kardashian filmed this thing with Usher, also Deion Sanders, who's doing very Coach Prime over at Colorado. How do I even know that? Like, I'm knowing more about sports this year just because of pop culture than any other year. The last time I knew this much about sports was when like Jessica Simpson was dating Tony Romo. You know, like it was always depending on who these sports players would date. That's how I would know. I was like, oh, Tom Brady. Yes. Gisele Bündchen. I got it. Nope. I got it. So Kim Kardashian, she's Dame Kim Kardashian. She's a thespian now. She's an actor. She does this little like sketch with Usher going like, "What's up, Usher? It's me, Kim. Guess what? You're going to do the Super Bowl." And Usher's like, "Stop playing with me, Kim. Stop playing with me." They missed an opportunity for Usher today, "Stop playing with me. You're kidding me." And for Kim to go, "Bible." Because they all, the Kardashians always like us say Bible on Bible. So, guys, I'm so excited right now. I just realized I'm amped. It's like 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, I love this. So Kim Kardashian's doing this little sketch with Usher. And Kim Kardashian's had a big week in terms of acting because American Horror Story Delicate premiered. And the thing is, I think Kim did a decent job. Like I told you last week, there was no way that Kim's just going to shit the bed because she's being coached. In fact, I think I know who her acting coach is. I'm waiting to confirm it, but I will let you know as soon as I can confirm it. But she's being coached. I've done this in coaching myself. Like you can see the beats. Like she's undercutting the joke. She's doing all the comic rules, rule of threes. She's all of those basic things that you do as a comedic actor. Kim's doing all of those. The unfortunate thing, and I will say the only thing that doesn't help Kim, is that she has gotten so much Botox that she can't, like Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep can make when Meryl Streep's angry or sad because she hasn't done too much work to her face. So she has like natural, her forehead can still get the little squinkly lines and you can tell when, she's upset or sad or happy. Kim's face, if you look at it, it just doesn't move. That thing could go through Hurricane Katrina and it would just stay still completely. That's the only thing as Kim gets more into acting, because I have a feeling, because like I said last week, acting is way more fun than studying to be a lawyer and it's way easier. I just wonder if Kim's frustrated that her face can't legitimately move the way that other actors' faces can. You might think that's mean, but I'm trying to be complimentary because I think she's doing a good job in all of these. But it also is like, it just shows you what a stranglehold the Kardashians have on pop culture. And then I was thinking about this today, is that there's like 5 factions out there. You got the Kardashians, right? Which includes Kylie, Kendall, Kris, Khloe, Kourtney, that whole, kit and caboodle. And then over here, you got your Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift's a juggernaut. Then you got over there, you got Beyonce. And you can put Beyonce with Jay-Z. And if we go back to Taylor, now you can include all of Taylor's men or Sophie Turner going out to dinner for the paparazzi. You got all of these things. There's a stranglehold on pop culture that's only now juggled by 3 or 4 things. And they're usually a family like the Kardashians that don't particularly have a skill except for making money. And then you have Beyonce and Taylor, which their skill is like they're buskers. They're like amazing performers, singer-songwriters, true talent. So it's amazing to watch Beyonce and Taylor. But then over here, you have the Kardashians, which like I said, the talent is the fame. Fame and making money is their talent. They can't write or sing a song to save their life. I mean, Kim's tried in the past, but they are just as relevant. They might not be just as beloved, but they're just as relevant. And then those are like three huge factions. And then, of course, you could like kind of expand that out into sports in terms of pop culture, in terms of how popular football, soccer, all of those things, and all the celebrities. I mean, I didn't even know until, God, a couple months ago that like the number one followed person on Instagram was Cristiano Ronaldo. I didn't know that. But then you have like kind of the underlying things. And isn't it weird that actors really don't even fall into that anymore in terms of juggernauts? I mean, DiCaprio has worked consistently and always raking in the money, but in terms of brands, in terms of being huge, you have Taylor, Beyonce, sports star, Taylor, Beyonce, and the Kardashians. I think it's all ruled by that. And of course, you can make the argument for this or that or this or that, but I think they all fall under an umbrella of some other kind of thing. Like you could put actors all under one umbrella, but Beyonce, Taylor, and the Kardashians are all their own umbrella. Okay, Rihanna a little bit too, actually. But Rihanna's tricky because Fenty actually almost made her go, I don't even care about finishing another album. I'm that rich and I'm enjoying having a family. Which, by the way, congratulations. Really cute photo of her family last week with ASAP and her two kids with their newborn baby. Amazing. But it is interesting to think about the pop culture landscape. And I've been thinking about it a lot this weekend because I watched a docu-series on Apple TV on Saturday night called The Supermodels. I highly recommend it. It's a little slow. It's 4 episodes, but overall it's amazing because you forget what's like the supermodels. And the supermodels in question here are Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista, and Christy Turlington. Those are the 4 that this focuses around. But through those 4 women, you get to kind of hear the story of fashion, the story of modeling, the story of these designers, and the story of where we were, like supermodels were a thing. There never has been the kind of white hot relevance of 4 singular ladies in terms of modeling than it was during this time period in the 90s that these 4 women kind of just had the power, like they made the moniker of supermodels for these 4 women. You could make the argument, of course, then after that was Kate Moss around the same time and you know, all of these other ladies. But it was interesting because it made me think about pop culture from this whole different perspective in terms of fashion. And of course, you guys know me. I'm an Old Navy man, which, by the way, at some point, somebody from Old Navy has got to be listening to this show and is going to be dressing me for BravoCon. Like, this is just basic shit. I'm going to be doing red carpet events. Old Navy should be fucking knocking down my door at this point. But I highly recommend it. It's on Apple TV. And Apple TV is interesting because they have so much good programming. But Apple TV is always kind of like, hey, I dare you to watch us. I dare you to even find out that we have a new show. Apple TV truly doesn't give a rip if you watch it. That's the feeling I get when I watch Apple TV is that they don't care. They do not care if you watch them. They're like, we made good shit. If you hear about it and want to come watch it, great. If not, we don't need you. We don't care. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in terms of streaming. I truly don't believe they care. Which, by the way, the new season of The Morning Show premiered 2 weeks ago. And I watched The Morning Show this last month for the first time. I burned through the first 2 seasons after my mom passed. And it was kind of like, let's just get involved in these stories. And it's a ridiculous show. I love it, but it's ridiculous. Reese Witherspoon went to space 2 episodes ago. She's a reporter, a lesbian reporter that went to space. It's a wild show, you guys. I love it. Billy Crudup's so good in it. But I was watching this Supermodels and I got really into it. And I love docuseries and I love learning new things. But I was even thinking about that. It's interesting to kind of look to the left and have pop culture told to you through a different lens. And for me, it was through these Supermodels' eyes. And it just made me realize what a different era we used to be in terms of everything. Because they were making the point that this was before pre-social media. You know, Cindy Crawford made the point of like, well, now I'm just Kaya's mom. Kaya Gerber, of course, is her daughter. And Cindy made the point that everybody has phones and social media now, so everybody can be a model. You're not plucked out of obscurity anymore. You pluck yourself out of obscurity. We have these little things in our hands that connect us to each other every damn second and minute of the day. Sometimes that's a great thing. Sometimes it's a horrible thing. but that it gave us the power, and everybody now can be a model. But we don't have these people that do that now don't have the cultural relevance that these women did, that kind of not broke the glass ceiling, but really did something new. I mean, remember that George Michael Freedom 90 video? David Fincher, the director of Seven and Benjamin Button and all of these amazing films, Gone Girl, he directed that video and he's in this documentary. But those four women, because George Michael didn't want to be in the music video because he was tired of shaking his ass on MTV with the Faith video and all of that kind of, all the downside that offered George Michael. So he said, you know what? I'm going to ask these supermodels to lip sync the song, and it's an iconic music video, and it's just one of my favorite songs. But it was just so interesting what they did at a time and place pre-Kardashian. I was watching Kendall Jenner walk the runway for some show in Milan this weekend or last week, and I'm not a fashion guy. Like, some of you guys appreciate it so much more and can point out things to me that I don't really know, but I see it and I'm kind of like, it just never, and I was thinking about the Kardashians, and I was thinking about today about Kim and her face not moving, is that we know, like Kendall and Kylie, these looks were built upon where they've arrived now. These weren't natural beauties. These were beauties that were not engineered per se, but they've had a lot of help along the way. And now the Kardashians, for all intents and purposes, create beauty standards, which that's where it gets scary. But those supermodels, it was like Christy Turlington was picked out of obscurity. And she was like, okay, I can make some money and have my own money. And she went on like somebody found her and thought she had a good look. Cindy Crawford, it was just kind of amazing that they were just natural beauties. And they were also doing it when they were like 16 or 17. It was insane. But it is so interesting to see how pop culture and all of these things have kind of like amped up there. It's almost on steroids. Like the Kardashians, I feel like I always call them the Terminators because they've like almost improved on, just like your basic design of a robot to actually become a Terminator. They've built upon everything that was set before them. And I mean that as a compliment. I mean, Kris Jenner is just a huge genius. I know you guys are rolling your eyes at this point. Anyway, so that was one thing I watched that I wanted to recommend to you. But it just made me think about where we are in terms of pop culture. And then, of course, it made me think about Taylor Swift, because what a stranglehold she has on pop culture. Do you realize she had 33,000 people register to vote last week? It was really insane. Like, talk about using something for good, is that Taylor Swift had fans reminded them to register to vote, and people actually went and registered to vote. I mean, like, how insanely important is that in this day and age? So a Taylor Swift Instagram post helped drive a surge in voter registration. So her Instagram has 272 million followers, and she encouraged them to vote. It recorded more than 35,000 registrations, according to the organization, based on this one post. She said, I've been so lucky to see many of you guys at my US shows recently. I've heard you raise your voices, and I know how powerful they are. Make sure you're ready to use them in our elections this year. And then she put the registration to vote.org. Now, 35,000 new registrations on National Voter Registration Day. It was the most since 2020. It was a 23% jump over last year. And the number of 18-year-olds registered was more than double of 2022. And I just thought, okay, that's amazing. So Taylor had the best week ever. I mean, the week before, she got to watch NSYNC reunite at the VMAs, and we saw what a good time she had. And then last week, she comes down and does charity work with Sophie Turner and takes her out to dinner with a couple times, gets these paparazzi shots heard around the world, and Joe Jonas literally shit his pants almost, and then goes and travels to KC because this Travis Kelce, this football player for Kansas City, which, by the way, I grew up in Olathe, Kansas. So I'm kind of a chief, a Kansas City chief. I support. So he said there had been all these rumors that they were dating. And I think his brother and him, they have a podcast together. They were having fun with it. But he was kind of putting it out there that he said, listen, I said to her, I saw you rock the stadium in KC. And now I encourage you to come watch me rock the stadium in KC. And he said the offer is in her court. And then sure enough, she shows up today. She is in Travis Kelce's box and she hangs out with Travis's mom the entire game. And now we have seen all of those photos. Once again, Taylor, I don't know if this is performative or if she genuinely has this good of a time everywhere she goes, but she was having the time of her life. And thank God the Chiefs won that game, because if they didn't, dude, Taylor would be like, fuck off, brother. Fuck off, buddy. I'm going to date a player that wins. But this Taylor, like, this has got to be really early on in this relationship. And Taylor's already met the mom, and the mom already seems to love Taylor. I wonder if Taylor registered the mom to vote. This Taylor, it's too, like, just stranglehold on pop culture, folks. So then there's been a lot of videos since where we got some brief video of Travis Kelce and Taylor walking out of the stadium and then riding in his convertible. Also, Travis Kelce was wearing something ridiculous. I'm not talking about the football uniform. I'm talking about, like, he was wearing this denim. It kind of looked like Ryan, Jen Padronte's boyfriend from Real Housewives of Orange County, how he wears those jean jackets or like the weird graffiti. It looked like some weird graffiti denim outfit. I was like, yo, bro, you ain't Timberlake and Britney when they did that all denim outfit. Remember that? It's iconic. I was like, go slow, man. Like, just wear some khakis or something. This guy fully dressed to the T. He was walking out with Taylor. And I just think think about the reality of that situation. You know how hard it is when we date in our normal, weird, average lives, and how nervous you are, or, especially when you're just getting to know somebody. Imagine that, like, you're dating Taylor Swift, but you're also, like, kind of a big deal yourself. Like, I don't watch sports, so he means kind of zero to me, even though a lot of people say good things about him. But this guy's got to realize, like, fuck, this is a genuine superstar. Like, this is a superstar. Like, how do you not shit the bed? How do you not? Then if you kiss Taylor Swift the whole time, I mean, are you just sitting there going, I'm kissing Taylor. Is she going to write All Too Well about me? Did you know Did you know Travis Kelce was in the jacuzzi with Taylor? I can't believe that. Did you know Taylor was at KC Stadium with Travis Kelce? I can't believe that. Thank you, Ken. Oh, it is so ridiculous. Like, what? I mean, then, like, do you think? Hey, okay, listen. It's 12 o'clock, 12:09 right now. Do you think? Okay, if there's kids in the room, just kick them out. Okay, between us, do you think Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are knocking boots right now? Do you think they're making love? Do you think they're having sex? Oh my God, you guys. And then if you make love to a Taylor Swift, or if you do the hippity dippity, the whole time you got to be thinking, oh my God, you got to really perform. Like, she does 3.5-hour concerts. You got to make sure this ain't like 30 seconds. You got to really put effort in. And then, like with guys, they always tell you, like, the old bit in the back, like, they always say, like, play a baseball game in your mind when you're having sex. It'll, like, make it last longer. Like, like, get yourself off of the situation, because, like, just to make yourself last longer. What do sports players do? Because, like, they think about sports all day. You can't go to sports in your head. Like, what do they think? Do they think about, like, their taxes or their grocery list? How do you, like, if it's Taylor Swift? And then the whole time I would be worrying if I was Taylor Swift. I'd be, because Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's dating history, she was dating Maddie Healy from 1975. It looks very different. Jake Gyllenhaal she's dated. I mean, we know all the dudes she's dated, but Travis Kelce seems like a very different type. This dude is a man. I got way too. This dude is a man. And the mustache looks a little weird, but he looks like a burly man. And I wonder if he's thinking, like, oh my God, I wish I was skinnier. I wish I was more, like, waif-like Maddie Healy. I wonder if he's insecure or if he's just, like, super cocky. Anyways, this Travis Kelce, I got to do a deep dive on him. A lot of you guys, did you know he was in a 2016 reality series on E! Called Chasing Kelce? Oh, sorry. Chasing Kelce. I did, like, a deep dive on Instagram on it today, because I was just I was like, no way. It's called Catching Kelce, 2016. And this guy dated a bunch of girls on this show. You can get it online right now. It's on Tubi. You can get it on Amazon Prime. Like, I got to watch this entire series. But everybody was like, oh my God, I watched that show. I love that show. This dude was a reality star. So now we bring reality into the mix. We bring reality television. Taylor Swift, for all intents and purposes, you take this guy out of football, she's dating a reality star. So then, Tom Sandoval's like, what's up, dude? Here you dating reality stars, dude. May I put my hat in the ring, madam, Miss Taylor, dude? Yeah. Anyways, those things, it's silly. And by the way, don't shit on people that had fun looking at Taylor Swift in a Kansas City Chiefs booth with this guy's mom. That's what I love about pop culture. We will laugh about that photo for years to come. And do I think this relationship's going to work out? Probably not. How could it? Like, most normal relationships don't work out. Do I think that this, like, two really, like, famous and one, like, the most famous person in the world is going to work out? I mean, they got a lot up against them, but, like, listen, they're having fun. Maybe it should teach us to have some fun. But it'll be hysterical to now see where they go next. I mean, there was, like, what, 60, 70,000 people at the Chiefs game? What's a second date look like? Like, what are you going to go do on a second date? You going to go see The Nun too? Like, what do you do? I mean, do they go home and watch Bravo? Does, like, Taylor go, I want to see Roni tonight? Oh, the possibilities are endless, but that's what I love. We start the day with Usher. Kim's in that little commercial. She's probably thrilled. And then by the end of the day, Taylor's popped up and taken the gold ring of pop culture once again. This is a war, folks. This is a pop culture war. So that was really exciting. That was super exciting. Okay, let's see here. Remember, you can skip to that Blocked by Jax anytime you want. I'm just having fun here. We're just getting loose, you guys. Okay, this week, huge week for TV. I talk about this with Blocked by Jax, but just a reminder, we have Special Forces on tonight on Fox. I'm excited for that. You got The Golden Bachelor, which is The Bachelor, but with an older gentleman and older women. That's on Thursday. You also have The Kardashians on Hulu on Thursday as well. You have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City this week. You had Real Housewives of New York tonight. You have Real Housewives. It's just all real. You have Southern Charm on Thursday. I love this week's Southern Charm. My hat's off to Craig Conover. Man, Craig, please unblock me. Please forgive me for all my lawyer memes about you, but I genuinely think you are so damn good at what you do. My God, just an iconic performance out of Craig Conover this season. You got that this week. I'm missing Real Housewives of Orange County. We have the season finale of Real Housewives of Orange County, where all of these women, for some reason, will team up on Heather Dubrow again, I'm guessing, when they should be teaming up against Tamra. But, people will learn, or they don't. Who cares? Also, Archie Bador, Shannon's dog, will be on the show later this week. No, I wish, though. If anybody has an Archie connection, I would love to have Archie on So Bad It's Good. But we hear, hopefully, things are going okay with Shannon. You got to know that Shannon Bador is probably just horrified at this entire situation. So I'll be very curious to see what the steps she makes, if she is going to go to some sort of rehab, or what that looks like for her. Speaking of that, real quick, Chef Stewart O'Keefe, that's been on this show a lot, he wanted me to let you guys know that him and Amy Phillips is just a genius. She has a podcast right now called Drama Darling that's excellent. She's so amazing. Well, they're doing an event called Reality Bites Live, and Emily Simpson is going to be showing up to this. Chef Stu and Amy Phillips are co-hosting this event. I think Kristen Takeman is going to be there. Emily Simpson, Gina is going to be there. And it's going to take place in Los Angeles on September 30th. So this week, there's going to be 2 showing times of The Experience, brunch and happy hour, and both show consist of tasty past plates, because Chef Stu is a chef, craft cocktails, and comedies. The reality TV themed experience will have cooking demos from Chef Stu, laughs with Amy Phillips, and Kristen Takeman and Emily Simpson as party guests. You can get the VIP event. You can find tickets at realitybiteslive.com, and you can use code AMY, AMY, for 20% off for So Bad It's Good listeners. So that's pretty good. That's happening this week as well. There's so much good stuff. There's so much good TV that you could almost say, you know what? I don't even need anything good happening in my life, because we have so much good TV. That's how good TV is right now. We are truly blessed. We are truly blessed. If you have a good place to sit and lay on your ass, then we are just truly blessed right now. So that's all the TV happening this week. I'm sure I left out a bunch of things, but that's what I have that I'm excited. Oh God, Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars on Tuesday with Ariana Madix and Mauricio and all these other people. I talk about that with Blocked by Jax as well. So you have all of that. And then let's see, what else do we have here? Also, I wanted to thank Maritza, and Sandra, for all of your pop culture notes. They'll send me notes and things to focus on. So thank you for everything. They're just amazing. It's just so exciting to go through their lists and then like have what I want to talk about, and they'll like point things in my direction, and it's just great to cull from. So you have all of these stories that we get to talk about all week. So even if I don't hit something now, remember, come back every day. Now the Monday and Friday episodes will be longer usually, but then like I did last week, those Tuesday, Wednesday episodes will be shorter. So it's a good mixture. And we have great interviews this week. We have a lot of good people. Sammy Sage, one of the founders of Betches and hosts a lot of podcasts, just brilliant. She's coming on. I have the author Taylor Lorenz coming on. I potentially have some Selling the OC cast members coming on. It's just an embarrassment of riches. I'm so thankful. Okay, moving on with other things that I watched this weekend. I watched the first 4 episodes of the 5th season of Love is Blind on Netflix. Now, they're going to release a couple of episodes. I think the next 4 come out this Friday. So, they've done this for the last 4 seasons. So I watched the 5th season. And if you don't watch Love is Blind, it is batshit. Basically, the conceit, the concept of the show is that they are in these pods, men and women. They don't get to see each other. They're only there for 10 days. And you are supposed to come out of these pods and find love and then ask that person to marry you. And then you go on this little adventure where you start living a life with them, and then it eventually leads to marriage at the very end of the season, or it doesn't. And it's batshit. It makes no sense. And part of the fun of this, though, is watching these people, these goofballs, fall in love so quickly. And I demand Netflix release the full pod. I don't want editing. I want to see how these numbskulls fall in love so quickly. I don't care. Like 10 days is insane. Like how long are these talking sessions when they're falling in love without seeing each other? We only get to see clips. I want to see the full thing, because some of these people are like, I don't care what you look like. I love you so much. It is insane. But I'm not going to ruin it for you if you haven't seen the first 4 episodes. I'll talk about it later this week so you guys can catch up. The only thing I'll say is this Uchi, I don't like it. This guy Uchi, or Uche is his last name. I don't like him. This guy's a gaslighter. This guy's a weirdo. I don't like him. I think he's potentially evil, but the whole thing, they're all batshit. They're all insane. You cannot fall in love with somebody in these little pods. And what I'm so scared is we live in such a weird society right now, is that Netflix is going to probably open up some bar one day where you can pay $20 to like go into a pod and meet the love of your life. And they're going to charge you for it. Like this, it infuriates me, but I loved watching it. If you were watching for some brainless entertainment, Love is Blind season 5, the first 4 episodes are out. I recommend it. I tentatively recommend it. Like, listen, it's not the most genius thing that you ever watched in your life, but it is really entertaining because it's just because these numbskulls, I can't tell if they're truly wanting to find love or they just really want some kind of low level fame. I'm sure it's a mixture of both. But then when they really get in, like when they really start falling in love with these people, you get genuinely scared. You get genuinely scared. You're like, I've been in love a couple of times. Like, it is nothing like this. It is. I mean, what? How, if you are one of these people, their family members, you've got to be like, you don't even deserve to drive a car. Like you shouldn't be working machinery. Like could you imagine raising your kids? Then one day they're like, Mom and Dad, like, I want to be in Love is Blind. Like that's, God, it's like one thing for me to start a podcast. That's like pretty shameful. But these people finding love in a pod? No. On TV? No. My dad, when I was a kid, he said, he fought in Vietnam, and that's why he said, you can do whatever you want in life. I'm just never going to let you sign up for an armed, like one of the armed forces. He respected him, but he was just like, I saw how intense that was. That's the only thing that I don't want you to do. I want to be able to protect you from that. That was one big thing. He's like, you can work anywhere you want. Just don't do that. He's like, and by the way, he respects the military. He fought all that stuff. This is going in a weird direction. But that was his only thing. But these people signing up for a reality show to like, fuck it. Like maybe this is what's missing. I'm going to find love this way. I just think you would be so dismayed if one of your children did this. Like it works out sometimes. Like I'm sure like some of the parents of the Vanderpumpers, they're like, damn, that's pretty good. Like I didn't think, like they've managed to like kind of carve out a nice thing over the last 10 plus years on reality television. But it's another thing because these Love is Blind cast members, they're like usually one and done, like one season and they're done, and then they can't get jobs. Like we had those two people from Love is Blind on a couple months ago on the show that are starting the reality show union, and I think they were amazing. But like the one guy was saying, it's hard to get work now. It's hard for him to actually get a real job because he was on this reality television show. But anyways, did you guys watch it? Oh my goodness. Whew. Crazy. So I watched that. Like I said, watched so much TV. Watched the Supermodels thing. And then tonight I watched the reunion for 90 Day Fiancé. And if you think what I just said about being disappointed by the people in Love is Blind, it goes like quadruple for 90 Day Fiancé. 90 Day Fiancé makes me believe that we are near the end of the world. Like it is every week I watch it, and every week I'm upset. Every week I'm like, this is ridiculous. These people walk amongst us. This shouldn't happen. You got this guy, Gino. He thinks he's like Neo, the singer. He's always wearing a hat. He's just like a big goofball. And now he's brought, what's her name? It's a mess, you guys. They're all a mess. And I'm just the whole time just fuming. And why do I watch this every week? I haven't gotten to watch this week's Sister Wives yet because I'm talking to you instead. I watched Roni after I watched that. The other thing that I recommended, now this is a little out of left field, but I read about this movie and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Everybody was saying such good things about it. And I watched it today and I loved it. It's a really scary movie. There's some beautiful, sad parts in it. There's a little bit of sci-fi, a lot of sci-fi in it, I guess. It's called No One Will Save You. It's on Hulu. It stars Caitlin Dever. She's one of the actors from Booksmart. I love that movie. Her and Beanie Feldstein, right? Jonah's sister. But Caitlin Dever is the lead in it. There's only one line of dialogue the entire movie, and it's about an alien invasion. But it is so well done. I am shocked that this didn't get released in theaters, but I thought it was just beautiful. It was scary. Guys, if you're looking for, as we get into fall and spooky season and things of that nature, I really recommend this movie, No One Will Save You. In fact, Sandra, if you're listening, can you see if you can reach out to somebody over at Hulu and see if the director or actor will come on? Because I just thought this was so great. It's only an hour and a half movie. And it grabbed me. It was scary. Like I said, I teared up a couple times. I just thought Caitlin Dever, the lead actor, was just amazing. I love alien things. I don't know. Anyways, if you get a chance and you're looking for something scary and creepy, that is something to potentially check out. So last week, you guys, I said as a joke, but I said, these are a couple things that I need in this world right now. And I need Pete Davidson to date another celebrity. And it's almost like the world, like this is how much I am manifesting right now. Not a lot for myself, but in terms of pop culture, my manifesting is second to none because we got a couple news items this weekend that Peter Davidson, boyfriend to the stars, is now dating Madeline Klein, the actor from Outer Banks. She's 25 years old. Peter is freshly out of rehab. He's on the road doing stand-up. He's doing some stand-up with John Mulaney soon. But he's now dating Madeline Klein. And I guess, you know what's so interesting? I wonder if Pete Davidson is kind of like, yeah, I still got it. Yeah, old big swinging Dick Pete, I still got it. Or do you think he's like, oh, people have moved on to wondering like about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? Or do you think he's like, oh, good, go pay attention to them. I'm going to do my business with Madeline Klein and nobody's going to be the wiser. Like, are we still excited about Pete Davidson? I'm kind of still excited about Pete Davidson dating a celebrity, but at the same time, I'm starting to think, is it a sickness? Is he okay? Is it okay? And also maybe just if you're freshly out of rehab, take some time for old Pete. It's okay to be alone too. Is it kind of a thing of like, I wonder if the thought process is I'm only young once. Maybe I'll be by myself when I'm in my 40s, but I'm in my 20s and I'm only going to have access to like really beautiful celebrities potentially right now. So is it kind of one of those, I got to get it all out of my system now? What do you guys think? But anyways, that was huge news. Very, very excited about that. Let's see here. Britney Spears, she is going to release her memoir, The Woman in Me, which we've already seen the book cover for. The memoir is being called Brave. And her handlers right now are not really letting her promote the book. She's not going to be doing, I think, any in-person interviews. We still get a lot of Britney Spears dancing videos. She's in various states of undress. As I've always said, I just want Britney to be okay and happy. And that's why I said it was such bullshit, that rumor last week that she was going to do a Las Vegas residency. Because I was like, no, there's just no possible way. And if somebody's even trying to get her to do a Las Vegas residency, shame on you. Like, now is not the time. I don't know. Anyways, I'm really curious to read this book. We will be covering this book on this show. Brittany, if you're listening, maybe I will be the one stop on your promotional tour. Wouldn't that be great? She's turned down all interviews except for So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. There's got to be one celebrity out there that listened to my unhinged Salt Lake City recap, which by the I was really proud of the recap, you guys. I'm going to keep recapping Salt Lake. I was like, I want to do Southern Charm too. I'm only one man. Okay. We've got so many other news stories, but I'm going to save those for later in the week. It is getting long in the night, as it were. I am going to share one more thing about my mom, if that's okay. I'm going to put a timestamp right here. So you can skip, right? You can skip. And you can skip right to Blocked by Jax. We don't have the mashups anymore, but this show is still a mashup. This show is a mashup of pop culture, music, movies, TV, and me and my family and things that I think about the world and things that are happening in my life. And I wanted to tell a quick story and share some audio with you. So they're saying today was this weekend was like the first like official day of fall, right? And in New York, it's been so rainy and dreary all weekend. I didn't do anything but watch TV, like I said. But I posted one of my favorite memes that I've made over the years of the Lenny Kravitz with the big scarf. Remember that from like a decade ago or something? He had this huge scarf and he's walking out like on a New York City street with like a big shit-eating grin on his face because he's Lenny Kravitz. And it's just the best picture to make a meme out of. It just makes me happy. I've used it so many times. And a year or so ago, my mom noticed that I always made this meme. And for Christmas this past year, she knitted me a Lenny Kravitz scarf. And I put a picture of it up on my Instagram. And it made me think about my mom. Like when I saw that Lenny Kravitz picture and the thinking about the meme and it and I got to, and then I was like, I was bummed because I didn't bring the scarf with me. I have the scarf and next time I'm in New York, I'm going to bring it with me and get a picture with it. But Lenny Kravitz must have seen my meme. No, he didn't see my meme, but literally the next day, Lenny Kravitz busted that big old scarf out of like wherever he's storing it and walked through Central Park and did a TikTok video, an Instagram video. And it made me smile so much. People say that your loved ones will send you signs when when they're gone or when they passed. And I don't know if that's true. And I don't think my mom, like I said, I don't think she's listening to the podcast. And I don't think she was the one that, got me to meet Food God last week, but I don't think she had Lenny Kravitz bust out his big scarf. But it's nice to think about, and it reminds me of a good memory of my mom. And I I loved that she was so not celebrated, but she got a kick out of my weirdness. She got a kick out of what I love. She got a kick out of that. Like, she started watching Vanderpump Rules because I really got into it. She started, like, it was just these really nice things. And there was so much about my mom that I loved. And I just wanted to share this next thing with you guys because I talk about you guys in this. And she was just blown away by all this. And I know it's just a podcast and all that stuff, but she was so blown away by how this grew and the opportunities that I was getting. And I think it comforted her a lot, especially as she was getting sicker, that like, oh, good. Like, like he's potentially going to be able to take care of himself one day. I do want to let you know, my parents never paid my bills. So that's a joke, but you know what I'm saying? She thought that, like, okay, this guy didn't make it potentially as an actor, but he might make it as a podcaster. I got sent this week. My friend who was at the memorial service for my mom, it was like all of her friends. It was just this beautiful community of people that my mom and dad have been friends with for the last, since they moved to Gilbert. I don't know. How long has that been? Like 20 years or something? 18 years? I don't know. Just really amazing men and women that I've had the pleasure of getting to know a lot this last year. But my friend who was there sent me audio of the eulogy that I read at this event, at this memorial for about 40 of her friends, 40 or 50 of her friends. It was at my sister's place. My sister did a beautiful job, and it was right after the Catholic ceremony that they got her name wrong. The priest got her name wrong, which I make a joke in this. But anyway, I didn't know. I didn't ask for this to be recorded. I didn't know it was recorded, but then I got sent this and I listened to it. And then I was like, you know what? Let me share this with you guys because it makes me feel good to talk about how much my mom did mean to me. And it is only a month and I'm trying to process this, but I want you guys to, you guys know how much she meant to me. And I know she meant a lot to you guys as well. But I do talk about you guys in this, the audience. And also a couple of just words of advice she's given me through the years. And it talks even about her favorite poet, Michael Bolton, at the end. But like I said, this is a little emotional potentially. So if you're not into that, I totally get it. Just skip, and we'll go right into Blocked by Jax right afterwards. And I know that's kind of a weird, like, oh, what a weird transition, but that's okay. This is weird. All of this is kind of weird. So it's okay. I'm not going to pretend that it isn't, but I'm going to tell you, come back, keep listening, because me and Blocked by Jax, Jennifer, we have a blast. We laugh a lot. We talk about all the Bravo shows, all pop culture. I think it's great, but that's what the timestamps are for. So I'm going to put this in here because I want to share this with you guys, and I hope that's okay. And I will talk to you bright and early on Tuesday. Have a great Monday. And remember, just listen to all the shows. I love you guys. Bye.